Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Simona Cotoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. The war in Ukraine is changing and the West now faces a stark choice. Ontario unlikely to see province-wide handgun ban. Freeland joins finance leaders in G20 walkout over Russian invasion of Ukraine. Canada struggling to process Afghan refugees, Taliban not exactly being helpful. Ontario Progressive Conservatives to raise WSIB payouts if re-elected in June. Canada's inflation rate jumps to new 31-year high of 6.7%. Rapper A$AP Rocky arrested at LA airport in connection with 2021 shooting. IRCC updates processing times tool to provide more accurate information. Raptor rookie Scotty Barnes could be close to a return. Senators Best connects in shootout to snap Vancouver's 6-game winning streak. So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. The inevitable fall of Mariupol, which is Ukraine's long-suffering eastern port on the Sea of Azov, now besieged, pounded to dust and soaked in the blood of its residents, will carry with a heavy symbolism the kind observers say Western allies need to reflect upon urgently. Already it has the potential to change the trajectory of the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned this week that peace talk will end if Moscow eliminates the city's defenders. More than that, the end of the merciless blockade of Mariupol will free up Russian combat forces to concentrate on a growing offensive in the eastern Donbas region, which is the regime of Russian President Vladimir Putin claims it wants to liberate from Kyiv's control. And that will mark a turning point in the war once that will force Western allies to make a choice, said a former senior U.S. Army and NATO commander. The answer to fighting gun crime in Ontario isn't a province-wide handgun ban, but a continued effort to fund police services tasked with locating those that wield them illegally, Premier Doug Ford says. His comments came a day after Ontario Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca promised a ban on handguns across the province if his party is elected on June 2nd. Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland joined officials from other national government in a walkout at a G20 meeting when the Russian delegation spoke at the event. This week's meeting in Washington are about supporting the world economy, and Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine is a grave threat to the global economy, Freeland said in the tweet. She added that the world's democracies wanted to send a message to Russia with the walkout.
Asks of the Ukrainian government, of President Zelensky, with whom I speak regularly, and their most recent ask was exactly for that, for heavy artillery. Delivery of military equipment in the context of an illegal war by Russia is something that we have to be a little bit careful about what we broadcast and publicize and what we're doing. But in the coming days, I certainly hope to be able to share more.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the circumstances in the Afghanistan are heartbreaking, but Canada is facing challenges in processing refugees trying to flee the war-torn country. Trudeau, whose Liberal government promised to resettle 40,000 Afghan refugees in Canada, said the takeover of the Afghanistan by the Taliban is making the situation unbelievably difficult. We continue to work with the partners in the region and with the allies around the world. So far, more than 10,600 Afghan refugees have arrived in Canada. The Ontario government says it will raise the compensation for workers injured on the job, but the proposed change won't take effect until the provincial election. The Progressive Conservatives say they are directing the WSIB to come up with a plan to increase the payments up to 90% of the pre-accident take-home pay. Injured workers are currently paid 85% of their pre-accident pay. The plan to raise the compensation is also latest in the series of worker-friendly government moves ahead of the June election. Canada's inflation rate rose to 6.7% in March, far more than economists were expecting and a full percentage point higher than February's already 30-year high. Statistic Canada reported today that all 8 categories of the economy that the data agency tracked rose, from food and energy to shelter costs and transportation. While the cost of just about everything is going up fast, transportation costs are leading the way up to 11.2% in the past year. A big reason for that increase is the 39.8% in gasoline costs since March of the last year. Rapper A$AP Rocky was taken into custody this morning at LA International Airport in connection with the shooting in Hollywood last year, authorities said. The performer, whose real name is Rakeem Mayers, was detained on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, the LA Police Department said in a statement today. Mayers, 33, was wanted in a connection with the November 6, 2021 shooting after an argument escalated, authorities said. He is accused of firing a handgun at an acquaintance who sustained a minor injury and later sought medical treatment. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada clients can now see more accurate estimate of how long it takes to process their application. Most permanent resident and citizenship services will now use dynamic processing times. New calculations will be posted weekly based on data from previous 6 months. Dynamic processing times for the temporary resident services are already in place based on data from the past 8 or 16 weeks. Toronto Raptors rookie Scottie Barnes could be close to a return. Barnes was at Wednesday morning shoot-around ahead of a Game 3 and walked by the reporters without a walking boot or a noticeable limp. Asked if there was a chance Barnes could play Wednesday evening, Coach Nick Nurse said maybe. The Ottawa Senators knew what a win would mean for the Vancouver Canucks on Tuesday, and the visitors were eager to play spoiler. The Canucks came in looking to extend a 6-game win streak and better their fragile playoffs hopes. But it was the Senators who took the 2 points with a 4-3 shootout win. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simona Cotoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Adios.